everyone and welcome to my reading Skulduggery Pleasant Bedlam reading vlog. So this week I'm going to be reading the Skulduggery Pleasant book Bedlam. This is the 12th book in the series, so I can't really tell you what this one's about specifically without giving loads and loads of spoilers for the previous books, but I think if you are like watching this, you've probably watched the rest of the vlog, so you know what this one's about. So I'll tell you anyway, actually. So this one is about Valkyrie and Skulduggery trying to regain Valkyrie's sister Alice's soul. Meanwhile, also we're dealing with Abyssinia, who has got a great big plan that's supposed to be coming to fruition in this book. I am so excited to read this one. What I find really interesting is the fact that the tagline for this is everything you know is wrong, and obviously I've got this massive great big theory at the moment that everything is wrong and something is going on here, and maybe this is all inside Valkyrie's head, maybe something else is going on like that. So hopefully that's going to come to fruition in this one. And with that, let's get reading and see what happens. Oh, so Valkyrie has a girlfriend. I thought I'd read somewhere that she was bi, but I didn't take that fully seriously in case it was a headcanon or something, but she's actually got a girlfriend. Interesting. I also like that it's Melitza as well. I like Melitza. I don't know, I like her. I think they're going to be good together. Fingers crossed. Hopefully she doesn't turn out evil. Hopefully, or Valkyrie doesn't screw it up, whichever. Just hopefully none of that happens. The opening chapters to this were also rather badass as well. I loved seeing like Valkyrie sort of talk her way out of the situation instead of fighting, though obviously I like the fighting as well, but I find that very fun and very interesting to watch her sort of talk her way out of the fight while also, you know, hitting a sexist guy in the face because he deserved it. Love watching that because I'm always here for female characters hitting or beating up like sexist characters. I'm always here for that. Interesting that the city guard have it in for like mortals in Rawhaven, but also not very like surprising at all, because with the way everyone was acting when they first came through the portal, obviously they were going to be against them, but I thought it would have been more like the random citizens of Rawhaven, not like the Rawhaven city guard. But at the same time it makes perfect sense, and it does also fit in with Derek Landy's changes to this, where he's bringing in more real world problems, and obviously police brutality is very much a thing, unfortunately, and I mean it does make sense that it's in here at the same time though, so somehow surprised but also not on that point. Very much sort of 50-50 on the surprise front on that. So Gordon was named after the doctor who performed a miracle to save him during his birth. That feels significant. That feels very significant, because why mention it otherwise? Something's going on there. I don't know what, but something feels like it's going on there. I swear blind that the descriptions of Skulduggery's suits were not in the original books. I swear in the original 9 we get descriptions of the colour of his suit, but we don't go into this much detail, and there was never a waistcoat. Literally in all of the covers there was no waistcoat when you could see his like suit. There was no waistcoat whatsoever. What's with the waistcoats? I think I'm focusing too much on this, but at the same time I can't help it. But like I swear there wasn't like this much discussion of his suits. I swear. Because I would remember that, and it just feels so weird to have this constant description of his suits. It's weird. I swear something's going on here. So we finally have Tanith turn up. Yay! And she's not wearing tight leather. She's wearing jeans and a t-shirt. She never wears jeans and a t-shirt. She's always in tight leather. So now I'm like, what? Like, why is she not wearing her usual clothes? I don't understand. This is still feeding into my something is wrong theory. It just, something feels off here with everybody's outfits. I don't know if I'm focusing too much on this. I don't know, but it just feels weird, and Tanith isn't wearing her leather outfit like usual. She's wearing jeans. Something feels wrong here. Like, very wrong. I mean, obviously in the context of the chapter, she's talking about the fact that, like, she's joined up with this resistance group and all the rest of it, so she may be undercover. But she's Tanith. She's running around with a sword on a motorbike. There's not much undercover she can do here, let's be honest here, but I'm just like, it's weird seeing her in jeans. I can't imagine her in jeans. I genuinely cannot imagine her in jeans. It's weird. So I have now just finished chapter 24, so I'm on page 131, and they've just had like Seraphina's obviously turned up, and Valkyrie's had that chat with Cassian, or Cason I guess his name is actually, I've been reading it wrong. But I've just got one thought, because they're talking about the Greymere Asylum, where the sorcerers who've gone mad with the magic go. It's top secret and everything you know is wrong, and I'm like, is there going to be a plot twist here? If this turns out that Valkyrie is in there and that's why everything feels subtly wrong, I'm hoping I'm right. Like, I'm really hoping that that turns out to be right and I'm not, like, wrong on this, because I really don't want to be. Because I've spent like the last 2.5 books now certain of it, so now I'm like, could this be leading to where I want it to go? Think it's gonna go? I don't know. Very interested though. And just the line that Seraphina's like, I think one of these bones in my necklace is yours. Like, so casual but quite funny in its way. And also, yeah, Skulduggery's bones get taken and nicked and they end up turning up in weird places. I always find that amusing. I love this line, help us, Omen 1 Kenobi, you're our only hope. I was obsessed with Star Wars as a kid, so that is a great reference. Like, Derek Landy saw the opportunity and took it with both hands. Love it. I'm really red at the moment. I'm going to blame the lighting for this. I'm not usually this red, it's the light. So, a couple of things. First of all, the whole idea of keeping secrets in those cogs and all the rest of it, very, very interesting. I love that idea. It sounds really, really cool. Also, I don't trust Colleen whatsoever, along with the rest of the first wave. I do not believe that they do actually want to escape. Maybe some of them do, but I think this may end up being a trap somehow. Also, I love the fact that Valkyrie's like, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, explore and bugger off in the middle of this massive asylum, so I'm excited to see exactly how that goes and what that's going to bring. But I'm on chapter 31 now, and I am buddy reading this with Abby, so I'm being good and stopping where I need to stop for the day, but very, very interested as well. I'm about a third of the way through now, which is great, but I'm just like, it's still ticking in the back of my mind that something's going on here, and like the last 3 books have somehow not been entirely real. Like, I'm sure it's going to turn out like it usually does, that I'm completely wrong and all of my theories are wrong, but who knows, I may be right. You never know. And they're now in a place for the people who can't be helped. And quite frankly, Valkyrie and Darkess could very much be counted as people who can't be helped from people on the outside who aren't like Skulduggery and people like this. So maybe, maybe not, I don't know, but I'll see throughout the rest of the book. But very enjoyable so far. Cannot wait to see how this all goes and how it all ends. Those chapters in Greymere where they've got Valkyrie, they've got her in the coffin, and she's having all of these visions, that was really creepy and really trippy. Like, that was really creepy. That was proper Inception horror movie level creepy. But now I don't trust that she's actually awake. You know, I'm like, is she actually awake? I don't think she is. I'm sitting there going, I don't know. When you do stuff like that, you never fully believe they're awake again. Do you know what I mean? I'm just like, don't think she's awake. But it's still sort of going through my head as, how long has she been in Greymere? And like, is this all still in her head? How much of this has been in her head? And stuff like this. I don't know if I'm thinking too much about it, I don't know. But I'm just like, everything you know is wrong. I'm on this again. It's stuck in my head, and now I'm just looking for ways for my theories to come true. But that was an incredible couple of chapters there. They were scary, they were creepy, and I felt like I was in a horror movie. But it was also really nice to temporarily see like Ghastly and Shudder again. That was very, very nice. Even if they just died again and they weren't actually there, it was just like, ah, it's nice to see you. But I'm just like, just that look inside Valkyrie's mind. that's going to stay with me for a while. The conversation between Skulduggery and Omen about, like, parents and all the rest of it is so interesting. Like, the idea of Skulduggery having disagreements with his father, I'm like, that's quite interesting. Like, because obviously we don't know anything about his family. We literally know nothing. We know he had a wife. We know he had a child. I don't think we even know if he had a son or a daughter. But we know he had a child. We know they're both dead. We've never heard about his parents. And so for him to suddenly mention them is very interesting. And then him also reassuring Omen is so sweet, because obviously Omen's got, like, no support system whatsoever. He's got, like, parents who neglect him. People don't like him. He's treated as like a spare, or like he's not even there at all for most people. And to have Skulduggery even just slightly reassure him has got to mean the world, you know? And it's just really sweet to just sort of see that slight edge of dad coming out in Skulduggery, you know? And just sort of giving Omen slight pieces of self-esteem. I like seeing Skulduggery just sort of pepper him with self-esteem on occasion. It makes me happy. Ghost pirates? Ghost pirates and mermaids. What in the Pirates of the Caribbean? I love it. Like, of course there's going to be pirates. Of course there's going to be ghost pirates. Of course there's going to be mermaids in this type of world. But what in the Pirates of the Caribbean? I'm now with the theme tune of Pirates of the Caribbean in my head. Pirates of the Caribbean vibes all over this. But also this music box is worrying me, because I'm like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good thing that Valkyrie's using here. Like, yes, it's calming her down, but she's losing hours at a time and things like this, and I'm like, that doesn't sound good. So in that sense, I am worried. To say the least, I am worried. But apart from that, like, I'm just thinking about ghost pirates. Ghost pirates. They are literally Barbossa's crew. That's the reference. They are Barbossa's crew. That is amazing. Derek Landy slipping in a Pirates of the Caribbean reference that was blatant, but without being absolutely, completely and utterly blatant. Love it. Absolutely love it. I don't like that Valkyrie's now using that drug as well. It feels like she's really spiraling and just getting more and more reckless as time goes on. And obviously she's going through a lot at the moment, but I'm just thinking this still feels slightly out of character for her. Still, because obviously, like, she is reckless, but she's never usually this reckless. And I'm a bit like, what is going on here, because of how, like, out of it she is. And I know she's being pushed to the limit, like, with what happened at Greymire. You've also got what's happening with her sister, things like this. But I'm just like, she's still acting a little bit odd. She's still acting a bit too out of character for me, I guess you could say. But also the fact that it's now been confirmed that the Kith are actually real, and it turns out that Creed is actually, like, experimenting on these people. It's like, oh, that's not going to end well. Along with the fact that Sebastian and co have opened up this portal to get to where Darkess is. I also have a feeling that this final bit of soul of Alice is going to be somehow connected to Kez, which is the part of Darkess still inside Valkyrie's mind, or something like this. I do think maybe something's going on there and it's going to be connected somehow. But also, I really like the fact that Skulduggery introduced Temper to the Sparrow Flies South for the Winter code. I love the fact that he just didn't warn him or anything. He just went, the Sparrow Flies South for the Winter, boom, and punched the guy. Brilliant. I knew it was going to be a trap for Omen. I knew it. That the whole thing with Colleen, it wasn't going to be real. I knew it was going to be a trap. And he's going to end up in America and Olga's going to have to go after him, along with everybody else. And this is probably where the prophecy is going to be. Or the start of the prophecy, or the prophecy is going to change. Either way, the Darkly brothers are probably going to end up in America now. Great. Those prison scenes were brutal. Like, I know I'm only halfway through them and Valkyrie's just woken up in the hospital, but I'm just like, those guards, like, I know this has happened before. Like, I know this has happened before with, like, Davina Ma versus Valkyrie. But it's like, that was just unbelievably brutal and cruel. And the doctor being like, oh yeah, well, I know it wasn't technically you, but it was you, so I'm going to make you suffer, essentially. And stuff like this. And it's like, I understand where people are coming from, because of the whole Dark situation. But I'm still like, that is unbelievably cruel. And I'm still wondering, because Valkyrie's hearing like ghastly in her head and seeing like the grey mirror person, like the spectre of Greymere, wherever it's called. I'm wondering if this is all still inside of her head and she's still in Greymere. I don't know, but also like I get where China's coming from with like immediately arresting her, but one thing that's come back to my mind as well is the fact that Valkyrie was captured in Greymere in the asylum and was experimented on, even if that was only for 5 minutes. And Skulduggery didn't hit the roof? Like, this is Skulduggery we're on about here. Nobody hurts Valkyrie because everyone knows if you hurt Valkyrie, you get Skulduggery Pleasant after you, and nobody wants that because Skulduggery is Skulduggery and he will not rest if someone has hurt Valkyrie. But he did nothing to the asylum. Like, nothing. Like, he hasn't, like, mentioned it at all. Like, obviously he may not know, but he probably, like, but since then Valkyrie's also been acting weird because of, like, the music box. She's been losing time because she's listening to the music box. She's now taking splash, things like this. And it's like, Skulduggery would have noticed something. Because Valkyrie's personality has now changed, and he knows her better than anybody, and he hasn't picked up on this, and I'm like, it's Skulduggery, he would have picked up on this. He definitely would have picked up on this. But he hasn't, and I'm like, there's definitely something wrong here. There's something wrong. And it keeps on going back to everything you know is wrong. On to better news though, I've just gotten through Sebastian in the other world. He's gone through the portal and he's seen Darkess's dead body on the floor and then seen the woman of light who is Darkess now. And she's fighting all the faceless ones and she's just left him. And I find that quite interesting. I like seeing where Darkess has gone and seeing how, like, she is now, essentially. And she's like this giant woman fighting faceless ones. And, like, why would she go back to Earth when she can be fighting faceless ones? I totally get that. But I find it quite interesting to know that she's now sort of come out of her own body. And she's now, like, this giant person fighting faceless ones. That's quite cool. Also, poor Omen. He's been captured. He should have seen it coming. But he didn't even think. But that's why I love him, quite frankly. That's why I love him, because he doesn't even think about these things. He's just too trusting. It's just, he's adorable. But the fact that they're going to try and frame him, I'm like, oh yeah, this is how they end up in America, because obviously that's where they're going. So I'm like, oh, here we go. The prophecy is coming true, apparently, so that isn't good. But the fact that the prophecy is now here, and we've still got 3 more books, has made me go, what? I mean, obviously, like, these books do end up in sort of, like, mini trilogies. So I'm wondering, because obviously this is the 3rd book in this trilogy, so it's probably going to wrap up the storyline. But then I don't know where it's going to go next, so I'm very interested. Yeah, I've got no idea where this is going to go next, but I am intrigued. Just hesitant at the moment because of some of the character inconsistencies that slightly driving me up the wall if my theories aren't correct, or if there isn't a damn decent explanation for it, because I'm full down the this isn't real thing, or like it's like Inception or like Shutter Island or something. I don't know if I'm thinking too much into this, but I am. But I am definitely thinking too much into this. But I've had this theory for like 3 books now and it's not going away. But yeah, I'm just like, there's got to be something going on. There has to be something going on, surely. So Temper's gist, well, he's got a gist. I didn't think that would be his magic, but he's got a gist, and it says, one more time should do it. He just had to release the gist one more time and it would be over, and Temper would be gone, trapped inside his own dark side. Interesting. Phone shush. Very interesting. that could be a problem if his dark side comes out. But also the cops are all in on it. Like, I mean, obviously they were all, like, not all of them, but like the city guard. I mean, the way it's sort of doing the whole like thing where you've got these bad members of the city guard who are beating up people who are basically helpless because they don't have their magic and things like this, is just so like real world based in its way. And what I really love actually about this second series is the fact that Derek Landy isn't shying away from like real world problems and making allegories and metaphors for like real world events and real world like problems that we've got with like racism and things like this. So I find that very, very interesting that he's doing it in this second series. Also, Abby did mention something during our discussions. I'm only just getting around to mentioning it because this is the first time I've managed to film in a couple of days because there's been noise and everything all over the place, so this vlog may be all over the place, I don't know. But anyway, she said that obviously Skulduggery quite often does that thing where he lets Valkyrie do her own thing, he doesn't question it, and then when she comes to him he does the whole "what the hell is wrong with you" kind of thing, like he did with Dark Hess and things like this, where he waits for her to tell him things. And obviously like he's probably doing that now as to why she's acting weird, things like this, but at the same time I do kind of wish that he'd actually, you know, question it just this once, because surely he should have learned by now that something is going down and he isn't mentioning it. But that's my only thing. But at least I've now got that. Oh yeah, that's Skulduggery in a nutshell. That's what he does. He lets Valkyrie tell him what's going on with her in his own time. So that's quite fun. I also really like Temper as a character. He's just very nice, you know. And then he turns up and he's like, "I'm gonna help you, Valkyrie. I can't break you out, but I'm gonna do it like the right way." I really like him. Also, they've frozen Skulduggery. And I'm like, how the hell are they going to get out of this one? You know? Because he's now obviously stuck in time. And I'm just like, how are we going to get out of this? Because obviously they're going to need to bust him out so they can stop Abyssinia and all the rest of it. So I'm just like, how the hell are they going to deal with this? How are they going to manage? What are they going to do? Of course the time machine broke down. Of course it broke down and Skulduggery escaped that way. Of course that's how it went down. Just classic Derek Landy. You think, oh yeah, they're gonna have this great big escape. No, the thing broke. I love the incompetence of some of these villains. You're just like, you idiot. Like, no one tried to guard the machine. Like, of course it was going to break down, and of course Skulduggery was going to escape, and you left it unattended. So Cassian isn't Lord Viles. He's actually Malevolent. Didn't see that one coming. Did not see that one coming. But now I'm still like, but does Lord Viles still have a child? Or is that all completely not real? What? Plot twist. Didn't see that one coming whatsoever. Oh my god. Cassian killed his father. Malevolent. Oh my god. But at the same time, I always swear blindly it was Skulduggery who killed Malevolent. Didn't Skulduggery kill Malevolent, or am I can't remember who they said in the original books who killed Malevolent. Did anybody say? I can't remember now. No, I can't remember, but at the same time. No. Who killed Malevolent in the original books? Or did they never say? They must have never said. But Cassian killed his dad. This has all gone a little bit soap opera, but I am loving it. And then managed to escape and capture. I'm so proud of him. He talked his way out of it by bamboozling the person who was like guarding him. I love that. He's learned that from Skulduggery. I'm very proud of him. And speaking of Skulduggery, he's connected with a brother. An alive brother. I didn't think any of his family still were alive. I mean, it makes sense that some of his extended family were alive, like brothers, sisters, things like this, because obviously they're sorcerers and they all live very, very long times. But because we've never heard of them, and we still don't have a name yet, I was just assuming that he was a lone wolf and absolutely all of his family were dead. That was a stupid assumption, but now I'm like, wait a minute, he's connected with a brother? Why have we only just found out about this? Where's that short story? I want that short story. There's going to be a twist here, ain't there? There may be a twist here, but also the fact that Skulduggery's known China since he was like 30? That's weird. Not like weird, but that's still a bit weird, because it's like, wait a minute, how... Just... I mean, I can understand where they cross paths because he does explain it, but I'm still like, I didn't realise they'd known each other that long. Tanith brought Dexter Vex to the fight. Like, I am so glad to see another dead man. We haven't seen the dead men since Dying of the Light, and they haven't been mentioned, so I'm so glad that we've got at least one of them back again. And can we just put Tanith in as like an honorary member? Because Tanith should definitely be an honorary member of, like, the dead men at this point. Like Valkyrie, she was inducted in. There are so many people of the dead men who are now gone. I think Tanith should be one of the dead men. Just putting it out there, Tanith should be one of the dead men. I've just finished, and oh my god, the plot twists. Valkyrie is a faceless one. I knew it because I saw that as a spoiler 2 years ago on Instagram. Someone posted the spoiler, so I've known for 2 years, but I'm just like, oh my god, it's confirmed. Like, it had to be something like that, so obviously, like, that means she's probably like a great grandchild of like Cassian and Solace, but Solace is just called China Mother, which means that technically, if she is Cassian and Solace's descendant, that means she's distantly related to China. That's just mind blown. Mind blown. But also this whole backstory of like China having someone who loved her and then they were apparently killed. I'm like, who the hell was she in love with? Also, Skulduggery's met up with a brother, but we haven't actually met them. We don't know them by name, so that's interesting. I've got a theory that his brother is Sebastian, and that may be what's going on here. I don't know, because otherwise why introduce Sebastian and mention a brother if they're not going to be connected? I don't know. I may be just seeing things from weird angles here. I don't know. But at the same time, my whole everything is wrong was not confirmed in this one either. So I appear to still be wrong, which is a bit of a pain in the arse, to be fair, but there we go. But to be fair, I'm still very much here for where this is going and like all of these different plot twists. Cassian definitely deserved better. He definitely deserved a lot better. Abyssinia, I actually feel sorry for her. I didn't think I'd feel sorry for her in the end, but I definitely felt sorry for her. Especially with how she died and everything else. She just wanted her son back. And obviously she was also a bit murderous. But I mean, I can't really blame her for being murderous in that sense, because of her upbringing and everything else. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, you're fine. You're fine. You know, but I am quite sad that she died. I'm sad that Razia died as well, because I quite liked her. She was quite fun. But now I have one question. And that is, how did Valkyrie get... Like, how did Valkyrie survive being supposedly possibly hit in the head by the Greymire Spectre person with the hammer? How did she fight that? Because the last thing we saw there was the hammer was coming down towards her head, and then the next thing you know, she's with everybody else. So I'm a bit like, how did that happen? But apart from that, I really enjoyed this one. I've got to admit, I am slightly disappointed in the fact that we didn't get the whole actually things are wrong here, in the sense that why things aren't adding up and why people aren't acting exactly like they were before, like with the three-piece suits and Tanith and all the rest of it. I'm slightly disappointed in that sense, but at the same time there's still like 3 more books, so something could happen here anyway. But so I'm still holding out hope on that, but at the same time I am starting to come around to the idea that maybe I am wrong, and that the everything you know is wrong is actually about Cassian, his dad, and things like that. So I'm fully aware that I can accept that, and to be honest, this could still all be slightly wrong anyway, because Valkyrie is having severe mental health issues, as we are seeing in this book now, and she's having, like, she's sort of descending into an addiction of a sort as well. So it could just be that as well. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like there are shenanigans afoot, but I'm so excited to see where the next one goes now. Also, I forgot to mention, Oma and Olga have just been attacked by Isoplin. So I'm like, oh my god. I mean, obviously they're not going to die, because they've got to fight the King of the Darklands and all the rest of it. And obviously Omen is on the front cover of the next couple of books as well. So surely he's going to be alive anyway, so that'll be fine. But I'm still like, who's attacking them now? And like, you've also got Flannery. I'm forgetting about Flannery. There's a lot of things going on, and I cannot wait for the next one. This is so good. This, like, the first two in this second series were not exactly iffy for me, but they were not my favourites. But this one has just brought it back up to what I call like my usual Skulduggery level of enjoyment, in the sense that it's just back online for me. Like, the plot twists are like hitting now. You've got like the proper like plot twists. You've got like the gross gory deaths. You've got unexpected deaths. All the rest of it, cliffhangers. It's all coming now, and I am so enjoying it, and I'm gonna give this one 4 stars, I think. Yeah, 4 stars. But with that, I'm going to leave this reading vlog here. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me what you thought of this book the first time you read it, or if you don't have that much time, leave me a skull related emoji down below to let me know that you were here. Also leave a link down below to all my social media, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics if you are interested in that, or if you're more interested in books. I'll also leave a link down below to my Etsy and Redbubble stores, which sells bookish merch and bookish bullet journal stuff if you are interested in that, or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!